Good morning, this is totally random.
Featuring Franz Maruna and Andrew Embler.
Totally random. Today, March 30th?
Yeah.
30th. And I'm Franz, this is Andy.
Hello.
This is your weekly news and tidbits show about Concrete5. And yeah, happy to be here. Andy's a little under the weather.
I am, but I'm trooping.
So he's trooping.
Something.
I'm doing so you'll, have to excuse us. In news this week, big news, obviously, Concrete5.5.2 has been released.
Yay!
Yesterday went out. Not a huge interface redesign or anything. A lot of little bugs that we had been working on from 5.5.1, and a new and exciting way to deal with images for the upcoming picnic closure on April 19th.
Yes, that was first and foremost on our list to not leave people in the lurch.
Yeah, give them something to do.
We're trying to work with Picnic for people on older versions so that they don't just get a blank page.
Yeah, they will, actually.
Yeah.
So forward people to a page so get some more upgrades happening. Yeah, so now if you click edit on an image, you can rotate the image, you can scale the image, you can drag and drop it around a little bit. Another really cool thing that we added, I think is the #1 feature that agencies have asked for, being able to pass a footprint for an image onto the image proper. So we updated the image block. And now there's some new parameters in there. If you want to say, look, I've got header space and it's always 720 pixels wide and 128 tall, you can set those, and when I click edit on an image, I will not be able to resize that footprint. I will be stuck with it, and I can change my huge cat picture to fit.
Yeah.
And that is like the #1 thing that web editors need to do, that web agencies are concerned they're going to screw up, and this tool makes that really easy to do. So, yay! Alright. We also fixed the embarrassing delete alias bug.
Yes, that was embarrassing.
So, yeah.
You can delete aliases from the sitemap of your site. A few other things. Well, there's one I'll get to in a minute in the Git segment. A bunch of other little bugs, some security assumptions that we made in the past that we make even better.
Yep.
And yeah, it should be a pretty low impact release. No real fear about upgrades.
Easy upgrade. Backup, always backup, but
highly
easy to do. In other news, a week or two ago, we asked for some help doing some guides for developers moving from other platforms. If you've invested the energy into learning Joomla, Drupal, WordPress, whatever, Modex, it's awfully nice to have someone kind of spell out in terms that you're familiar with how to build something with Concrete5. It just seems like a no-brainer to me. It's you know, English for Russians as opposed to like just an abstract concept. And we had someone step up with some awesome content here. Chris has given us a spark that up there. Oh, can you hear me? Yeah, cool. Sweet start on this stuff. I mean, this actually I think is pretty close to ready to go. He is experienced and loves both systems, which is awesome, and kind of breaks it down into some killer features of Concrete5 and why you should care at all. And does a really good job of kind of hitting the keynotes of, gee, your client's going to find this a lot easier to use than perhaps systems you've used in the past, and that's nice. Kind of touching on some of the basics around here, how you organize your site and whatnot, and then pretty quickly getting into some of the things that are just a little bit more fully thought out in Concrete5, the core, as opposed to Drupal. Drupal really being more of a application framework for building content management systems at this point, where you have nothing but choices, and then Concrete5 kind of forcing your files to work in a specific way we can all depend on, and that kind of thing. So there's a really good job of kind of contrasting the two with a positive light for both systems, which is great, and then kind of tells you how to get started with thinking about breaking the page into blocks and block areas and versus block regions. And I mean, this is perfect. This is exactly the kind of thing I was hoping to see when we when we asked for that,
absolutely.
that call to action. I think the only thing that jumps out at me is like maybe a little bit more love could go into it is single pages. We're talking about that a little bit. That seems like the kind of the last basic concept that you need to get across to a solid developer about concrete5. Because otherwise you'll end up thinking about blocks more than you should.
Yeah, it's, how to deal with some of the more application-y aspects of the sites.
Yeah. So blocks are good for this, but if you need to, build just a one-off thing, you explore a single page. So I'd love to see, just like another paragraph or two added to that about these are single pages. This is why they're cool, and this is what they map to in Drupal. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I mean, amazing. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that looks great.
That looks great. We got to figure out where we're going to put that on our site. Of course, we'll link to it on your site as well. It would really help me a lot if there were some other ones to put it in the mix with.
Sure.
Right? Like, I'm loath to just dump that into how-tos and see it trickle down into the sea of how-to tidbits. They certainly will. But I could see adding a whole new section under documentation of, concrete5 for
concrete5 for WordPress development.
Sure. Well, I mean, maybe a section under docs that was like learning concrete5 for other developers. I don't know. We can come up with a title, but I could see having like half a dozen little sections that were well thought out. Here is WordPress, Drupal. So, if any of you have any expertise in anything besides concrete5 or Drupal, and just an afternoon to write up an article like this, really appreciate it. It's just something that we're not capable of doing. We don't know how
we know our stuff.
We know how concrete5 works. So really would appreciate that, and it would make it easier to launch it all if we had a few.
Yeah, because it really is a little different than how-tos. How-tos are granular. How do I do something? And these are learning. Like how do I get started?
Yeah,
that doesn't really belong.
Concrete5 for dummies. Yeah. Cool. How about some karma?
And the weekly karma winners, come on down.
All right. So, we get some pictures this week?
We sure did.
Let's look at them.
We got one from Tim Camps.
Tim Camps.
All right. It looks like we can hear ourselves now that we're looking at screenshots this week. It's exciting. Nice. Yeah, I saw this one on Twitter. Said he was a fan. We're a fan of you.
I like that pig sticker. It's got one eye open.
Nice. Drunken pig. Sweet. What else?
Got one from Bert Olton.
Nice. Oh, God. Okay.
On top of the Joomla Bible.
Yeah, there you go. Alrighty. Thank you, guys. Great to see our logo out there in the world. As always, I'll remind you this week that if you would like free stickers sent to you in the mail, all you have to do is go to our swag page and scroll down to the bottom, where you will find a form field that says, please put your mailing address in here and we'll send you free stickers. Your mailing address can be anywhere in the physical world. Yes, we will send stickers to Russia. However, your mailing address cannot be your name. Joe is not a mailing address, nor is it your email, because you cannot put stickers in email. Thank you very much. Did the karma machine run this week?
It did. Yeah.
Yeah!
Nice.
Sweet, fix that machine right up. So, what do we got? It looks like City Tech want a copy of the dealer locator for helping people. Postco also want a copy of the dealer locator for promoting the project. And John the Fish as well want a copy of the dealer locator for doing some work.
That's hundreds of dollars in price.
That is some stuff we're giving away there. So thank you, everybody. That is sweet. And any of you third-party developers that are watching, you may get a sense that we would be perfectly happy to give away licenses for your add-ons as well. If you would like some other developer-y active members to get exposure to your commercial add-ons, and you want to just give a couple away, that'd be cool. Let us know, and we'll stick some of your licenses in the karma machine so everybody doesn't get dealer locators next week. Sweet. I think it's time for fun with forums.
Let's do it up.
Introducing Fun in the Forums!
That is awesome. All right, this is going to be a tough fun with forums week, Andy. We are.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. There's no softballs on this one. All right, the first one is there a way to convert a scrapbook to a stack? Got a bunch of scrapbooks, wants to turn them into stacks. It's just where's the button that just does that for me? And the short answer is no. There is no way to convert a scrapbook into a stack. That's a cool idea, I guess, but It seems like a...
I bet some enterprising developer could release some sort of utility for free that would do this.
So
you definitely it is possible to do it. It's just not.
You know, it's a thing.
Yeah.
If you got scrapbooks on an old site and you upgrade to 5.5, the scrapbooks will continue to be there, and if they're placed on a page, they'll continue to work. So we didn't break it.
I actually took that as the opportunity to look over my old site, and I ended up deleting the scrapbooks page from the dashboard so that it was no longer in the dashboard drop-down menu. And I found that the one scrapbook that I had been using at one time on my site wasn't even using it anymore.
No.
So some subsequent redesign went away with it. So you know, it's an opportunity.
You're going to have to organically emerge away from that.
May not be what he wants to hear.
You know, I'm sure it's not but you know, hey, feel free to start coding.
Yeah.
Open source, you know. The other question that is implied in here, and I can give you a slightly better answer on, is it is frustrating, we agree, that you cannot place an individual block from a stack on a page and maintain that central, I can change it in the stacks and it trickles down everywhere. You used to be able to do that with scrapbooks. It was kind of hacky. I mean, scrapbooks were always kind of hacky, so I maintain that stacks are wildly better than scrapbooks.
They're better, but they do, like architecturally, night and day, but that is an oversight.
That is an oversight. So when you place a stack now, you place the whole stack on a page. And we would like it, we had on our list for 5.5.2, but for political reasons it had to go out the door. We would like to change that, add a stack interface on the front end to let you either pick the whole stack or a specific block out of the stack, maybe a couple if we wanted to be really nice about it or something. So that, you know, expect that to happen in the not too distant future. I can also imagine an enterprising young fella making a block.
There may even be one in there that I forget exactly, but someone could definitely make a block for it. It will come at some point.
Yeah, we will add it to the core at some point, but it might be a little bit before you see the next version of Concrete5 come out. So if you want to make a couple of bucks in the meantime, I bet you there's some people who would really love to have that block today. And I don't think it'd be that hard to build.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know of at least one or two people who would certainly spend something on it. So that was the first fun in the forums thread. Sorry, it wasn't really the answer you're looking for. Let's move ahead to another one. Most rated art. This one cracks me up. So Java Man on the 29th post of news.
Java Man.
I like Drupal. The question is, how do I create a block with the most rated 5 articles? And how do I configure this block for 3, 5, or 7 related articles? And then about 21 hours later, he comes back and says, "Thanks for the answers. I'm back to Drupal." Snarky smiley face. Burn, man.
Wicked.
Sorry to lose you, bro. Anyways.
Aw, shit.
Anyways, to actually answer that question, it looks like Manolo comes up with an answer here.
Yeah, Mania does some good answering.
What's his answer? Can you give me a summary of that one? Because
his summary is there's a you create a page attribute, which is what I would do as well.
That's smart.
And you apply that to the article, to the instance of the article page, the actual article pages themselves.
Right.
And you rate them there, and then you use that page attribute in either custom code or an extension of the page list that you build yourself, the custom template and custom logic.
Yep.
That filters not only by whatever criteria you have in the page list, but also like page handle or page type, and but also sorts by the this rating field that you add. And I think there are page list blocks in the marketplace now that extend the page list to do this type of thing through the UI, so you don't have to make custom coding. But you can also do it yourself, and it looks like he has a pretty good start with this. He's writing some custom code that does a sort by this new attribute you create.
Nice.
Work. It's not out of the box, but that will totally work.
Matt, why don't you scroll over and mark that bad boy as the best answer?
Yeah, I think that is the best.
That is pretty much how we would do it too. Oh, you're not logged in.
I'm not logged in.
Well, that's the best answer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it sounds like there might even be something in the marketplace that would do it for you. So, sorry we couldn't get on top of that for you faster, Java Man, but very doable. Just a little bit of tinkering around, and you could have had that built in the time that you waited for the answer. The last one that we're going to do in Fun with Forums today is about memory.
I actually took a stab at this one before we got on the show.
Oh, yeah?
So we shall see. And it looked like there was a fair amount of activity, so we'll see. Maybe we'll get a real-time response and dialogue out of this one.
Looks like, yeah, sweet response time. Speaking of memory.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, guy was running with what he had, like a hosting environment that was they were cranking the memory up on, but still wasn't enough.
Yeah, he would occasionally, everything would run fine, and then occasionally he'd get out of memory errors.
Right.
At random points. And
fast, and then slow. And it looked like on the first time someone loaded a page or something like that.
yeah.
Reeks of caching to me.
Yeah, me too. And that's what I posted. If you scroll down to my response, is there? No, okay. So what I posit is that this is a site using file-based caching, which is not surprising if that's true because it's the out-of-the-box default. And it's getting fairly large. And what's happening is occasionally with file-based caching, Zencache has they have a way of clearing of doing garbage collection so that your cache directory doesn't grow to be millions of entries. But at a certain scale, it is kind of untenable, and you will, or we never did on our site, but it gets slower and slower, and you'll see weird out-of-memory errors in the Zencache PHP script. So this doesn't happen with most Zencache setups, but it definitely on sites with larger amounts of cache entries, just because they have more pages or more traffic, you'll definitely get this error unless you add this line of code to your config.site.php, which basically turns off garbage collection. But if you do that, and that will make your site run faster as well, and I believe it will get rid of, you can also turn off caching or explore alternate caching methods.
Yeah.
And then, but if you do this, if you decide to keep up with the caching through the file system and you add this line of code, you need to add a cron job or a concrete5 job that deletes the contents of the files cache folder every day or so. Otherwise, it gets to be huge. It never gets any smaller. And I don't know what the theoretical Linux file system limit of number of files in a directory, but you'll hit it eventually.
Well, on that points to the other issue with performance on servers that is often completely glazed over is memory is a big part of the problem. So is disk speed.
Yeah, I.O. is intense.
It's very, I don't know, it just feels like the 80s to me whenever we run into these problems. But it's this tiny little drive and it's trying to put data on it. Yeah. And if you are writing all sorts of tiny little files for caching over here and then someone else is hitting their website over here, the head can only move so fast.
And we've, in the past we've kind of been of the opinion, well, all the database I/O, all the database requests that we do, let's just try to replace that with cache access, but that's not free. Yeah. And so we have actually been attempting to refactor some of those cache requests so that there are fewer calls and more data comes back in the calls, because it doesn't matter whether they're parsing an object that's, to a point. It doesn't matter whether the object is a certain size or just one character. And we're trying to get rid of 500 requests for one character versus one request that contains everything in that call. Because it does make a difference, especially on hosts with more constrained disk I/O.
Yes, so counterintuitively, sometimes caching will slow your site down.
Yeah, definitely, especially the file-based caching. Yeah. I would, if you've got APC, a recent version of APC, I would recommend using APC-based caching. Yeah. They had some stability issues with that for a while, but the latest version seemed to be pretty rock solid.
Well, for that guy, first thing to do is just turn the whole thing off.
Yeah,
turn caching off, see if you have the problem or not. If you don't have the problem, then you can
and see if your site's still acceptably fast.
Yeah.
If you have a fast database, you may not need caching
solved.
at all.
A lot of sites don't need caching at all. Yeah. Boom! That is from the forums.
I saw a nice shirt from us.
I got hot in my sweatshirt.
It is
so
hot.
I had to strip it down to the undies. Yeah. Word. How about the next section? Get.
What did we get and get?
Oh, Matt always cuts away from the best part of that video.
What was it?
That's pretty fantastic. One day, I'm sure he won't push the button fast enough, and you'll see the secret Easter egg of what did you get and get video intro. What do we get and get, dude?
I have sent link that we will show on the monitor here. This is a pull request that we were able to get into 552.
Sweet.
It's funny because we approved a bunch of pull requests yesterday. We're trying to be better about that. You know, even the most innocuous pull requests can sometimes have unintended consequences, which makes us a little afraid of approving them sometimes.
Sure. I wish we could get more of them, like 5 minutes before we're ready to launch something.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. Like, that's our own issue as well. But, like, we definitely sat on the number of the ones that are old just because there's fear attached. But this one came in about midway. This is a couple months old. I think it actually came in for 5.4, and then we said, yo, can you recode this? You know, to his credit, you recode this and resubmit in the new interface because, you know, it's never going to apply cleanly.
Right.
And he did. And this is a feature that we wanted for a while. It's nice because it's totally encapsulated. It totally just worked out of the box. I had to add a little bit of code to the upgrade script to make this work in upgraded sites, but that's kind of par for the course. And I have no problem doing that. This is from Dan Klassen, and it is an addition to the form block that lets all files that are added to a form block, through the front end of a form block, get put into a certain set.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's nice.
Number 2 requested feature for the form block.
Yeah, and so this very quickly is now our second feature listed in the 5.52 release notes, because it's one of the only real features that are in there.
Right.
And
so now you can add a form to a page, let people upload a file. You can choose what set that file is going to go into. And so if you have an image gallery that's pulling things from sets automatically, or using the document library to show files from sets, you basically just made a Dropbox.
Yeah, it's great. I dropped a document library on a page, and I put a form block in the sidebar that just had like a little description and a input file type, and it totally worked on the same. You upload, it says thanks, and your file displays right there on the same page.
Nice.
It's nice.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Do you have something that you want to see and get? Because I just thought of one.
Go for it, please.
I would love to see. Correct me if we have already seen it, and I'm just out of the loop, but some ability to define in that same form block on a text area or an email field that you would like to reply to be from this email. That's the number 1 requested feature out of the form block is, why is it when I get an email notification from the form submission, it's not coming from the person who submitted the form?
Yeah.
And the technical answer is because we have no idea who that is.
Yeah,
because
we have no idea.
Put a text field in there as a label of email doesn't mean anything to us.
It could be your email address.
You could ask for 17 emails. How would we know which one to make the reply to?
Yeah.
But that's kind of a lame answer. I mean, you could add a checkbox that please make the reply to you on email notifications this form field.
And what's great about that is we actually, I think 12345J, a number of releases back, submitted a bunch of HTML5 fields for the form block, and one of those is email. So we could just add this checkbox just to that field.
So simple, guys. People would love that. I see you could go troll our forums, and you could find a dozen people who want that today.
Another thing we got in Git, like these are the 2 biggest pull requests we got by far that we were able to include in 5.52, and there are a number that are still in there, but they were just too complicated to get to in the abbreviated time we had to get a release out before Picnic closes, and for some other reasons. We got a pull request that I think we actually commissioned Bankers to do a while ago, which was people want to, when new users sign up for their site, get an email notification. Like, you could do this if you hacked config.site config site PHP, but it was not something you could do through the UI. So we approved that, and that was nice. So thank you, Bankers. So those are two big ones, and there are countless little ones as well. So nice work, everyone.
Cool. That's getting and get. Time for the PRB.
And now it's time for the peer review ball.
Featuring new themes and add-ons.
All right, everyone.
Sweet. Well, we approved some stuff.
We did.
I looked at some of it this morning. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. There's a lot of nice looking themes in there.
Good stuff.
We're firing up that list.
Look at that stuff. Yeah. I think we started right around. Let's see here.
Yeah, I think the first one is either sidebar products or extended flash content.
Yeah.
There we go.
So this is a way that you can basically swap out what will happen if you don't have Flash. So if you've got a Flash thing, you can change it so there's a background there, an image that would show up if you don't have Flash, or a phone or a browser you have installed Flash in.
That's nice.
Show me an image instead.
That's nice. You know, we are in an increasingly mobile, non-flash world.
Thank God. Yeah. That is cool. It doesn't, you know, it's not like a video player that can handle both, but just an easy way to kind of swap out your flash content with something rather than just a blank space.
Nice.
The sidebar carts product, I think, was the next one. It's very
This is an extension to e-commerce, right?
handy. Yeah, this is just shows you what's in your cart inside the page. So instead of having to click through to the cart, there it is. There's stuff in your cart. It's pretty common these days to be able to actually see what's in there. So
yeah, it's like a nicer, or well, it's a different version of the cart links block type of thing.
yeah,
It's nice.
good extension for e-commerce. Thank you very much. Theme, we got Blue Marine.
Blue Marine.
Yep.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Grayscale,
Sure.
navy.
Navy theme. There you go. Like you can do some fun stuff with
Nautical.
layouts and styling and stuff. So themes are good. Thank you, thank you. The next one's a theme to Respond. Respond.
I'm gonna guess this is a responsive theme.
Perhaps.
It's a responsive theme.
Looks nice. Clean.
Yeah, I like
Pretty
that.
icons. I like that. It's good.
Oh wow, what's going on? Oh, those are different social networking icons.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
there.
There's
Cool.
a little fancy icon stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
Sure. Nice.
I like that drop-down menu.
It's great when you pull drop downs into your own themes.
Yeah, it's nice, and you know, it's much less opportunity to screw them up.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, it's great when there's like complete style. It's nice.
Yeah, a unified experience.
I think it's a big theme day. I think. Oh, next one is social links. Right? Yeah. Social links. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Turn them on. Decide which ones you want. Pretty icons.
Cool.
God, Pinterest is a social linking tool now.
Oh man, Pinterest is like the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Just not for me.
No. My wife takes Pinterest.
I think so. Is this the? Oh yeah, no, it's big.
Why it's everywhere.
They too seem to. So this is this by the same developer as the last theme?
That sure looks similar, doesn't it?
Those are nice.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
That's sweet.
I really like those.
See,
Good
it's,
job, Formigo.
Formigo. Yep, it is.
Nice. Good work.
I like that.
Attractive.
Repurposing your stuff.
Yeah.
Creative. Forging right ahead, got another theme. Pinterest stripe. Not Pinterest,
No, we might
but
be
very
sued.
similar feeling logo.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice. Subdued theme with an angled pinstripe in the background.
I always like seeing a lot of the animated logos, and they like
Just in time for prom.
It's like a classier version of Brush.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just
Yep. Beeloo.
nice
With
work.
the
Beeloo.
soon-to-be patented Beeloo drop-down menu.
Yeah,
Yep. Nice.
good work.
He's cranking them out. Good
He
work.
is.
Yep.
He is.
It's a pretty one. We got another one. Another
Elegancia new.
theme with looks like a nice mobile interface, iPad, drop shadows, floating content, hullabaloo, kerfuffle. Nice.
I like these. I like the sitting in place image
Mm.
happens in these. It's fun.
Weird. Yeah. Yeah. Very elegant. Red's
Yeah.
nice, man. Everyone always likes things in blue.
Yeah, the
But,
blue
you
is
know,
pretty
nothing
common.
wrong with red, man. Can feel professional.
There's nothing wrong
Whole
with
lot
Red
of
Man.
red. What's wrong with red?
With Red Man.
With Red Man? Oh, yeah.
Nothing wrong with Red Man.
Red Man. Well,
It was probably a fair amount wrong.
a couple issues maybe. I'm sure he's pretty cool. Yeah. Sweet.
Oh, this is a second.
And I can see that onyx.
Oh, like a darker
Man, if
version
you
of
like
the
it in
same
red,
one.
you're gonna love it in black.
Probably true.
Elegancia. Yep. Wow, I've been here before.
Yeah, we've seen more of this of theme developers. Instead of like taking the time to release different versions of themes that they really tailor for a particular color scheme, and I don't
Sure.
think there's anything wrong with it.
No, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I mean, if I just need a website tonight, I don't need to like tinker around with a bunch of CSS. And there are some features where you can kind of let site owners configure CSS stuff through the page types. If you get in there, there's a way you can make those configurable
CSS
styles.
customizer, but
Yeah, that's really cool, but that's just something else to do. So
and it's another thing to explain to someone, and there are certain parameters I don't think you'd be able to as
hard to
easily
do gradients and that kind of thing.
So it's
I don't
nice.
see any reason why you shouldn't make it easy for mom to just get a nice looking site tonight.
Yeah.
How are we doing?
You know, the last one.
Last one.
Database case sensitivity migration.
Good
I think this.
Lord.
Someone actually. I think Matt's played with this recently. Someone had a. This is an add-on already, right? But this is of a slightly different nature, or is this just a different take on a problem that some people have occasionally?
I think it's just another take on it.
That's nice. It's free then, because I don't think that last one was free.
Yeah, and this I think might integrate a little more with the dashboard or something. It's interesting.
Nice.
Nice.
But,
Yeah. Well, if you work on Windows,
Yeah, so this is addressing a problem where, you know, if you don't realize and set up your Windows install a certain way, you might find that all your database table names are lowercase, which doesn't really matter on Windows or OS X, but once you take it to production in Linux, you will be sad because we have a very, we definitely have mixed case table names, and Linux cares about those.
Yep.
So this will take a database and turn it into what it needs to be.
And looking at the screenshot here, it seems like it's been set to give you a list of all the tables that aren't standard concrete5 core tables.
That's nice.
So you can go and make some manual changes after the fact.
Nice. And I imagine that this, I don't know for a fact, but I imagine this probably parses your blocks XML directories to determine what, you know, determine which, uses packages and things like that to determine what, like, it's supposed to be. Just be like to determine what, you know, should be a certain way and then what is not, what you may have created yourself for a custom problem.
awesome.
Nice.
All right, it's time for how would we do that?
How would we do that?
Okay, so we got some PRB stuff to talk about at some point during how would we do that. But if there's any questions, maybe we should hit some of those first.
There are questions.
All right, let's find some answers.
Okay.
With excitement, Matt. Come on.
Let me
Ready.
let me get that enthusiasm together for you guys.
We're off the paper now.
Freestyle.
There's no agenda.
What do we got?
All right, I'm not sure who asked this. I forget it. Kind of got lost in the feed here. But what happened to the advanced permission stuff that we had promised for maybe this release?
I didn't promise you anything. It's still in there in a fork and Git, and it will be an A release coming up. It's there. We would encourage you to play with it. There's more advanced permission stuff that is on our radar to do.
Yes.
Next, we're going to
It's
start.
not quite complete.
We're going to start dancing with attributes and applying permissions to attributes, so you can control who can see and or edit which attributes against people or pages, which probably doesn't matter to 98% of you, but is really valuable to 2% of you.
2%, yeah.
I think we're also trying to lock some more things down with some of the flexible permission structure that we made. So
Yeah, make it even.
I know, like maybe limiting. You can already limit who can add which page types at parts of the tree. But limiting who can add which themes at parts of the tree would be a nice thing to kind of throw in there too. So stuff like that. We're still tinkering with that.
Yeah,
and,
it's not quite ready. There's no way to upgrade
no
with
upgrade.
it, which will be bad.
You know, so that has been in a separate fork and Git.
It continues to be
Continues
there.
to be there, and when you see that, it you know, that's for a reason.
It's still called 5.5.2-devel, so that's obviously not.
Update that one perhaps.
But it's coming. It's there.
It's not in this version because this version needed to go out now. We've got Picnic dropping their support in less than a month, and we need to change some stuff around for how we treat the files directory and permissions for some of the budget hosts out there as well. So
And some of those bugs that were out there were a little embarrassing.
things a little embarrassing. Yeah. So that's the way that goes. But I would strongly encourage you to go pull a copy out of Git and find bugs with it. And
Yes, please
give
do.
us a hard time about it, so we
completely
can
different.
fresh that at
It's
some point.
completely different.
Next question.
Okay, question about time zones. Why does concrete5.org display everything in EDT?
The one true time zone.
The time of
We're not
business.
even in that time zone, man.
It does.
Because we have other things that we have worked on.
Because I promised you advanced permissions and I didn't get them. I don't know. Because it does. Time's time. It's just this weird concept that we all pretend exists anyway. Time is really an ocean.
We should just make it all relative anyway. Posted 500 days ago.
I don't know. It is, because there's only so much time in the day. Ooh.
Ooh, nice.
What else you got?
Alright, question from Wagdy. Is it possible to have an extra option for uploading files by dragging from the desktop and dropping into the browser, similar to YouTube?
Oh yeah, there's
That
also
would
the
be
new
pretty
HTML5
sexy.
file stuff.
I mean,
around the
it
bed,
wouldn't even
right?
be that, you know, because you've seen it wouldn't even be presumably that difficult to swap out the one file upload, quick upload thing in the file manager to, you know, swap out if you're dragging a file on there. That'd be pretty sexy.
That'd be pretty cool. I mean, of course, the
Be a
problem
sweet
with
pull request.
As it'd be a great pull request, perhaps. Although I might
overdone.
argue that like there's a lot of ways that we would not accept that. It's easy to look at that file manager and say, "Wow, really? You got like 3 buttons for adding files up there." On the flip side, like I don't want to make everyone have to open a window just to add a file. So that adding a single file thing is kind of tried and true. It works. Is this new drag and drop thing going to work in 97? Because the rest of concrete5 mostly does. So it'd be unfortunate if you couldn't add a file. You know, like
Yeah, I think it'd have to be a
really,
Easter egg almost.
something you
more
just
than
drop it
anything
on there and
else.
it would
Yeah.
just work. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Maybe it would work from the more button. I don't know if you want to do it that way. I mean, the advantage would just be dropping it in there.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Maybe you can make it so it wouldn't even be up there, but it'd be like if you drop it into the list or something,
Yeah.
it would just work.
Highlight.
Yeah, I don't know. I can see if you dropped it onto like that form field and they just uploaded that would be pretty sexy.
Yeah,
That
I
would be a
think you
request
could
we'd
do
probably
that.
just roll with.
Yeah, definitely. That's
Next.
super cool.
Alright, Dojo Design asks, with the stupid European cookie law becoming active on May 25th, would C5 consider an option that can be clicked on off to show a message to the user accepting cookies or not?
There's an add-on for this, isn't there? I think someone did something.
Maybe.
Something to add on.
That rings a bell for me too, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not gonna work well without cookies. Sorry. Like.
Yeah.
I'm not sure there's an actual way for that to work in reality.
Yeah.
Europe, I hope you're listening.
You know,
There you
there's one called, here, I'll flip back to this.
Formigo again.
This is,
Formigo's all over the
Killing
place.
it.
and Waggy was kind enough to post this link in the forums. This is the Formigo cookies disclosure add-on, which
That is
Cookie
an awesome.
I accept cookies.
I accept
Cookie Monster.
I only accept biscuits. Yeah, it looks like there's a tool to do that. I mean, if the deeper question is, are we going to rethink concrete5 to not require cookies?
No, I think that's a perfectly valid way. I think
That's a way to deal with it. And the web's going to be a mess after that. So.
Oh, okay. I guess this add-on from Formigo has not been approved yet. But,
Oh.
you know,
Prove it.
Live PRB session right now.
Greg, what are you doing?
I don't think we want a live PRB session.
No, we don't want that. Yeah, that makes sense to me. It looks like a good way to provide a solution for this, I agree, stupid problem.
Yeah, that would be great. That looks like an awesome way.
That looks like the way to do it.
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm poking around in here. Poking around.
Dig it today.
Yeah,
This is
we're
like
got
a
some
machine gun. No.
Okay. Question from J.A. Steele on IRC. Can you add attributes to file sets?
No.
No.
Wow.
I know. You
working,
like
man.
preemptively answered that one.
Why would you do that? Add attributes to file sets. For what end? I'm sure there's another way to solve the actual problem that you have.
Well, you know, I mean, if you're treating them like folders, then you could label folders in OS 10. I mean, like,
Oh, I see
to
what
what
you're saying.
end is a good question.
It's always as
But
working into
I think that I could see how, if you were trying to treat it like an asset library, you
Yeah.
might want something along those lines.
limiting attributes by set, I suppose. You're just adding file attributes, but the sets almost work more like a permission for I want. Right, so I've got PDFs and I've got images, and I want to add a bunch of attributes for turning the images part into an asset management system. So I've got like primary color used in image, red, green, and blue.
Yeah.
And I've got includes people in picture, and like I don't want to show that against PDFs because I just have half a dozen PDFs. So now I want to somehow say, look, I will only show these attributes at the file level if the file is also in such and such set. Maybe.
Yeah, it sounds like he's looking for a list of thumbnails with a cover image for the image set. With attributes.
Oh. Well, that's different entirely. So he wants to make so he's got a set that is, here's a bunch of pictures that I like, and then I want to denote one of them, or an additional one as the cover. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess the other way to think about it is whatever you're building to look at this attribute is going to have to, you have to build that. Too.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to, just because you have the ability to store the data, you're still going to have to write the pull it back. So if we were to do that, I might just be like, yo, whatever the first image is in the set, is the cover, and problem solved.
Yeah.
And you could view, wherever your view layer was, whether it was an image gallery or whatever, you could even say, well, look, the first image I'm just going to use as a cover, and I'm not going to include in the overlay.
Yeah, or
vice versa.
You include a checkbox on the image that is cover image, and that.
Yeah, so you can have an attribute that's available in all of the images is cover, just the first one in the set is the cover that you use. That would be a way, that might be how we would do that. Those are the ways we might do that. So, yeah, and those ways are all right. I mean, adding permissions and attributes and all that stuff would be doable, but probably equally confusing. And the final product would be just as overwhelming as the kind of hacky solutions we're offering right now.
I think that just about does it for questions. Oh, wait, there's another one. There's another one. Okay, this is from Iconic Schema. They ask, what's the best way to return Ajax from a page controller?
Ooh. Ask Andy.
In the past we've done, a lot of times what we'll do is we'll use a controller action that in the page type controller, which sounds like you know about. And then what we'll do is we'll just use the JSON helper, and we'll make a new object. Whatever you need to pass back, we'll make a new standard PHP object that is, not of a special type, just as a general object, and we'll stack on whatever types of data you need to return. And then we'll just print it through the JSON helper, which encode it as JSON, and then exit. And so then whenever that thing is called through an Ajax request, it'll just return JSON. And since you have exit at the end of the function, it will not go on and render the page. And that, we've messed around with other ways of doing it where you inject JSON into the page of a blank template. It seems like overkill. Just print it from the function and then quit the function at the end. And that seems to work for us. We use that approach on concrete5.org a lot, actually.
Good answer, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Just solved.
Yeah, just like that.
All right. Let's talk about PRB, kids. So, a while ago now, we've been talking for a long time.
Yeah.
Just life. But amongst the things that we have talked about for a long time is updating the way the PRB functions, the infrastructure for accepting new code for the marketplace review process. And if you're not familiar, the marketplace at concrete5 is highly vetted by a peer review board, thus PRB, and ourselves, and the promise being that you will not find anything in our marketplace that will break your site or not install. I can't promise you that everything will magically work together the way you might hope that it would, but at least you will not find conflicting add-ons that overwrite one another and rethink base things in the CMS. To get to that end, we have relied on the auspices of volunteers. We've relied on an awful lot of time around the office of kind of going back and forth on these submissions. And it's been frustrating for a lot of people who have submitted code because we're a dozen people here in Portland, and so you submit something, and a lot of work has gone into that. We totally respect that, but we don't really, we never raised $40 million to have someone sitting here doing nothing but writing back, hey, you didn't close your brackets here.
Yeah.
So, you submit something and then nothing happens. You submit something and you get some response, then it takes another week for everyone to look at it again. Just frustrating for everybody. Frustrating for us when we look at submissions and there's really obvious stuff that should have been done that wasn't. I mean, I saw a submission even a week or two ago of I know there's no issue with this, but then don't submit it. So, could we build better tools to somehow ease the pain around this back and forth? And of course the answer with folks like us is always, of course, there's dozens of ways we could build a better tool, but what is the real return on that time investment? So we have been building said tool.
Yes.
We by Andy has been building said tool, and it's pretty much ready for staging now. I think we're going to try to copy up for some people beat up over the weekend.
Yes.
We thought maybe we'd show off some screenshots and kind of describe what it does, how it's different, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, let's show them off.
Let's show them off. All right. So here's the new Marketplace review interface. So before it was just kind of a brutal list of everything submitted. There wasn't really much context. So now you've got all sorts of fancy sort by stuff on the right that will actually help you look at the submissions that you're really interested in. And again, this is for anyone in the PRB. So if you, as a PRB member, know, look, I've got about 30 minutes that I can spend looking at themes, but I'm really not interested in testing shipping gateways for e-commerce. Now it's very easy for you to sort by just show me themes. You can see the type there on the side, as that little icon is on the left as well. And you could sort by, well, show me something that has been updated most recently, or show me something that has the fewest replies, or the most replies, or you name it. So the hope being here to apply what energy that we have and you all have more effectively to the right tool for the job. We often find that when it's time to do PRB work, it's just like, I guess I'll start at the bottom of the list.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's things at the bottom of the list that are just
There's a reason they're at the bottom.
really hard to test or whatever. The other thing that you'll see in here is there's some optional tests down there that you can turn on and off that will let you look for things that are kind of specific things that we need you to vote for. And that segues well to the next screenshot, I would imagine. Okay, so here we are, an actual submission, and wow, it's huge. And
it's awesome.
right off the bat, it's a little bit easier. You can actually see some of the stuff that you had to jump over to the Marketplace page to see before, like the thumb and whatnot. There it is. You can see what's going on. You also see that we are now tracking who has contributed to this review process. So if you're a PRB member, you will get notifications of anything new added to the PRB, but you will no longer get an email anytime anyone posts anything to any add-on or theme with a huge BCC or a huge CC at the top. That's all dead. Apologies for making do it with that for so long. But now basically you get notifications when there's new submissions, and then as soon as you get involved with one of these submissions, then you're automatically subscribed. You get everything about it. But you don't have to, a little bit more signal to noise, hopefully. But you can see members voting. Andrew has voted on this one. I didn't get a little summary at the top. But then as we scroll down here, there's these huge, friendly, rounded boxes letting you know what tests you have passed and which ones you haven't. So the faded green one, I think in this shot we're looking at stuff that you have.
No, these are
passed.
These are yes, correct.
Yeah. So if it's faded out like that,
it's actually, and it has actually the wrong icon. It's supposed to be a
check.
check.
So this is an out of date screenshot. You'll have to use your imagination.
Yes.
But basically,
the green and fade is correct.
This is the past of the screenshot.
Yeah.
Huh? We have another one with more on it.
Yeah.
Just similar counterintuitive. What's the? Is there another one we want to look at here?
The next one.
Listing. What is the next one?
That's down.
Yeah, that's down.
Yeah, that's one too.
What else you got? Yeah, that's one of the forms.
Well, I mean, they just stop. That's just like tests.
That's what we showed you. All right, go back to the first one there. So these are kind of faded green ones. These are automatic tests that we do. So there's maybe like a dozen of them, something like that.
Yeah, less than that, like 10 or maybe like 8 or 9.
And these are things that Corbin actually built a nice script that goes and sniffs out and tries to find things that have caused a lot of back and forth in the past.
Yes.
Do you have a thumbnail that's the right size? For the love of God, do you have the thumbnails right? Is your minimum version match your controller? Like, does it have a view.php file that's a theme? Stuff like that. That's just like, why do we have a human? Why do we have to ask volunteers to check this stuff? Why have we not done it?
Basic crap. Are you we'll actually be doing function level, PHP level parsing that will check to see if you have any functions that we deem unacceptable for concrete5 add-ons. Like any MySQL specific database calls is a no-no, because you can use our database object instead. And a lot of people don't know that, and this will catch that. And it's not, there's no technically there's nothing about this that is going to keep it from being approved, even if it fails one of these required tests. But they're called required because it's very likely that we won't even be looking at add-ons that don't pass the required test.
Happily, these guys run automatically anytime you upload a new version of your add-on.
Yes.
So in our dream world, you will submit your theme. It will tell you, yo, you don't have a view PHP file.
Oh,
and you
yeah.
go, sweet, and you get back to work, and we will never think about you.
Yeah. You'll upload a new version, and then it will pass the latest version.
And then we'll think about it.
And then we'll see.
It'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Right. Faster, immediate, blah, 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 blah. What you can't see on this screenshot, which is unfortunate, but you all have thinking caps. You can use them, get your imagination warmed up, is there's another set of these rounded boxes that are, what's purple?
They're
Yellow?
orange,
Or orangey yellow?
Orangey.
They're down below. And they are not, they are tests that only a human can do. They're subjective tests. And they do not get wiped out every time you upload a new file. And they kind of have thumbs up, thumbs down on them. So, I don't know if such a screenshot exists. I think you just have to use your thinking cap. So if I were to look at PRB, or if Minkers were to go in there, there's a little thumbs up, thumbs down on, I don't know, give me some examples.
Does it have T strings around all of the, are all the, the strings that humans see wrapped in the T parameter so they can be translated?
Oh, here we go. That's a good shot to show. Yeah.
So you can see
in the
them
background, there's this little up-down vote thing happening. And there you go. Good documentation. Yeah, okay. Everything should have something. It's
My
subjective.
marketplace listing is attractive, which means
Right.
like you might get a downvote if your theme has no screenshot.
Right. So anyone in the PRB can get involved with any of the add-ons. You can up, down. Just because there's been one up doesn't mean someone else can't come along and do a down or another up. It's just a way for us keeping track of things. If you downvote, you have to put a comment in here, so you won't just get, whatever, oh, documentation's bad, and no feedback as to why. And anytime someone does downvote, this comment will go to the bottom of the thread, and the page contains a whole forum type.
Yes, we have buffed out the marketplace, the message history to include all tests that get run, all file updates, and chronologically, all upvotes, all downvotes.
So this becomes the ledger of
Yes.
your submission
Yes.
life, basically. So
Totally chronological. Should include every bit of update about the other than I updated my marketplace listing, but you probably update that too. So it's very easy to see who's voting down, who's voting up. When they're doing things, if you vote down, and then you can see, oh, they just updated the file right after that. Maybe I'll take a gander at it again.
Yeah.
You can see who this is an interesting one. You can see who downloaded the add-on, which is interesting. Like with their politically, you may not necessarily want to be voting down a bunch of add-ons that you don't even download.
Right.
So,
which segues to some other kind of political or infrastructure, political bridging type things. The PRB also now is built from a pool of people.
Yes.
So there are slots for PRB members. Your activity keeps you in a slot. Your lack of activity gets you booted out of a slot and puts someone new from the pool in. So everyone in the PRB needs to be actually doing work, not just kind of looking at add-ons for their own personal reasons. And if you are involved in an add-on, so you see we're now tracking who is contributing to add-on or theme approval. If you are doing work for someone and helping them get their stuff approved, you will be granted a license when said add-on or theme is approved. So right now, the way the PRB works is kind of like everyone can get at that source, but once something is approved, like now you no longer get new versions. And it struck us as a nice benefit would be, hey, if I helped you get your thing approved, maybe I get a single license that I can subsequently use, create a little bit more motivation. And there's all sorts of karma points and whatnot that you guys will be getting for these different tasks within here that we're still tweaking around. So there you go. There's a new PRB. We're still working on it. There's other things that we want to do to concrete5.org with the push that would include this. So I don't think it's going to magically happen tomorrow or even next week. But
we'd like to improve some other aspects of concrete5.org. But
Yeah.
this is pretty close.
Or badges. So that kind of stuff is coming together. So there you go. Any thoughts or questions on that one, Matt? Or is everyone just in awe and happy that we did something?
I think everyone loves it.
Great. We love the love. There it is. Eager to get it up. We've got to make sure you can't break our site with it. It seems like there might be some cool ways to do that. And I got to kind of flush out some of the little tidbits, make sure that we're not letting anything sit. We got to add some other stuff.
Yeah, some of those things aren't quite there
Yeah.
yet, but the core experience of it can definitely be tested.
Sweet.
A question from Chatstrat about the PRB.
Yeah.
Is there a metric associated to inactive in the PRB? Because sometimes it's just a really busy week. And what have you?
Oh, in terms of like getting booted out of the PRB group?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
I think we're going to set that threshold out to like a month or something. Because I think when we were discussing, it would be like you hadn't posted anything in 30 days. We would give you a warning of like, yo.
Yeah, I
you gotta
don't.
go.
I recall the discussion being more around add-ons and themes that get no activity from anyone.
Yes, that as well.
And that is happening. That's 30 days if no one, and that includes the owner. So, and that includes file updates. So, like, it's very, very permissive. If no one comments on an add-on or theme, including the owner, in 30 days, they get a warning, and then 7 days later, the thing is gone.
Yeah, wipe it out.
But then, as far as PRB member activity, I think it's going to be more like a report base, so
Yeah,
that we
Julia
can run
managing
that it will show us inactive people, but we can, use our brains.
Yeah, I think there will still be a human in the loop.
Yeah.
But the goal is to have like turnover and no camping members.
Yes, I agree.
That is the goal. We may not completely rely on automated tools to get there, but we may.
And that is to not let there's a lot of inactive.
Yeah, that's cool, but not really.
I do have one more question.
Okay, it's the last question, because we gotta get to work.
This sounds like it's an e-commerce question.
Okay.
This one's from Drummer B, and they would like to know, can you style product attributes individually?
You would probably have to give a more concrete question as far as what that means.
I think he wants, I'm gonna guess that he wants one drop down to be one color, or different text box to be different, probably only by making your own custom attributes.
Yeah, I mean, they have style classes, or they have CSS classes around them, so you could theoretically add them to your
Can you
e-commerce
elaborate
theme.
for me? What is it that you're trying to achieve?
Yeah, is this an edit thing? Is it a...
Different text areas styled differently.
No. Unless you looked at those text area names in your HTML and used CSS2 in your theme to style text areas based on their names.
There you go. That's how we would do that.
And that would work.
That would work.
Yeah, they say right now select boxes and text areas are all styled the same. So, no.
That's what I can say.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes. So in your theme,
Use CSS to break them apart by their name. And that should do it.
that's how you do it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Time to get to work. Thank you very much for tuning in as always. Believe that we'll see you next week. And have a good one.
Cool.
Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific Time.